I'll never forget the sound of her laughter. Not the sweet kind that used to melt away my stress after long days at work, but the cruel, mocking laugh that carried through the thin wall of the cafe bathroom that night. I stood frozen, my hand on the doorknob, heart pounding, as I heard my girlfriend's voice. My everything. Spill words I was never supposed to hear. "He's going to propose tonight," she said, a smug edge coating every syllable. "Watch me say no and make him cry. Honestly, I don't even know why I've dragged this on. He's good for dinners and paying bills, but that's it. Tonight it ends." Her friends erupted in giggles. One even snorted. And just like that, my world, my plans, my love, my future, shattered into pieces on the bathroom tile beneath my feet. The ring in my pocket. For weeks I had carried that velvet box in my jacket pocket, waiting for the right moment. Tonight was supposed to be it. The string lights, the quiet corner table at her favorite restaurant, the dessert plate with "Will you marry me?" written in chocolate. But as her words sank in, that ring felt like lead burning a hole through my pocket. I leaned against the wall, my breath shallow. Tears stung at the corners of my eyes, but I clenched my jaw. Whoa. She wouldn't get the satisfaction. She wanted a performance, a dramatic proposal she could destroy with a cold smile. If she wanted theater, I'd give her a finale she'd never forget. Dinner with a stranger. When I finally walked out of that bathroom, I forced my lips into a smile that didn't reach my eyes. She looked up at me, radiant in her red dress, unaware I had heard everything. "You okay? You were gone a while," she asked sweetly, tilting her head. "Yeah," I lied smoothly, slipping back into my chair. "Just washed up." I stared at her across the flickering candle, studying the woman I thought I knew, the woman I'd nearly begged to be my forever. And suddenly, she looked like a stranger. Every laugh, every brush of her hair, every playful glance felt like a rehearsed act, a role she was playing while waiting for the curtain to fall. The waiter appeared with the dessert tray. My stomach twisted. This was supposed to be the moment. Instead, I reached into my jacket, pulled out the ring box, and set it on the table without opening it. Her eyes widened, a flicker of surprise breaking her perfect composure. I didn't kneel. I didn't speak. I just pushed the box toward her. "Go ahead," I said softly, my voice steady though my chest was on fire. "Open it." She hesitated, then flipped the box open. The diamond caught the candlelight, glinting like the last cruel joke of fate. For a second her mask cracked. I saw shock, then confusion. Then something colder, fear. Because she realized I wasn't following the script she had written for me. "Will you?" I stopped myself, letting silence hang heavy between us. Then I leaned back and smiled. "Actually, never mind." I stood, tossing a few bills on the table. "Enjoy the ring. You'll need it more than I do." Her mouth opened but no sound came out. By the time she found her words, I was already walking away, leaving her with nothing but the sparkling symbol of a future she had mocked. The fallout. She called that night. 30 times, then 50. My phone buzzed with a storm of messages. What was that? "We need to talk." I didn't mean it like that. "Please don't do this." I didn't answer. Not once. The next morning she showed up at my apartment, her mascara smeared, her hair a mess. For once, she didn't look like the polished woman I had fallen for. She looked desperate. "Please," she begged, gripping the doorway. "It was just a joke. I was trying to make my friends laugh. I didn't mean it." I stared at her, the words I had held back the night before finally spilling out. "You were going to humiliate me. You planned it. You wanted to see me cry, to perform for your friends like some pathetic clown." She flinched, but I didn't stop. "You could have ended it any time. You could have told me you weren't happy, that you didn't love me. But instead you strung me along, used me, mocked me." Her eyes filled with tears, but I felt nothing. No sympathy. No warmth. Just a hollow ache where love used to live. "I don't know who you are," I whispered. "But you're not the woman I loved." And then I shut the door. Rebuilding. The weeks after felt like walking through fog. My chest was heavy, my apartment too quiet. I kept replaying those words in my head. Watch me say no and make him cry. It wasn't just betrayal. It was cruelty. The kind of cruelty that makes you question your own worth. But slowly, painfully, I began to rebuild. I went back to the gym. I reconnected with old friends I had neglected. I poured myself into work. And piece by piece I stitched myself back together. One night, months later, I found the ring box tucked away in my drawer. I opened it, stared at the diamond, and for the first time I didn't feel pain. Felt freedom. I pawned it the next day. With the money I booked a trip, solo. Somewhere far away, where her laughter couldn't reach me. The unexpected encounter. It was almost a year later when I saw her again. I was at a coffee shop, laptop open, working on a project. And there she was, standing in line, looking older, worn down. Not the vibrant woman I once knew. Eyes met. She froze. For a moment the world went silent. She walked over slowly, her hands trembling around her paper cup. "Hi," she whispered, her voice barely audible. I looked at her, really looked, and realized something. She wasn't the monster I had made her in my head. She was just broken, insecure, cruel in ways that came from her own emptiness. But she wasn't mine anymore. And she never would be. "Take care of yourself," I said softly. And then I packed up my laptop, walked out of that cafe, and into the crisp evening air. The ending she didn't expect. They say betrayal changes you. It hardens your heart, makes you suspicious, cynical. But for me it did something else. Taught me that love without respect is hollow. That someone who laughs at your pain doesn't deserve your devotion. And that sometimes walking away isn't weakness. It's the bravest thing you can do. She wanted a show. She wanted to see me cry. Instead, she watched me rise. Calm, steady, unbroken. And that was the ending she never saw coming.